Oh, actually, I accidentally paused my restream, I'm sorry. But now they are off. So we can see, first of all, that the bblblp is playing as Dale and Dave is playing as Ship. There's no real difference when it comes to the character you choose in this game, except that Ship is so much cooler than Dave is.
Yeah, I'm like, man.
Then Dale is.
We were rooting for the bblblp upset, and then he goes and picks Dale. Come on, man.
Yeah. But look at this. Dave is actually falling down. He's doing the 35-second time loss in stage 1. This is really interesting. Interesting enough that I would say the first stage in the game is arguably one of the hardest. It's also the most punishing for sure if you die, because as you can see this first screen here, the game basically has a checkpoint at every screen transition, and the first screen is, depending on how good you are, around 45 seconds to 1 minute. So you can potentially lose almost a full minute in the first stage of the game. So that's making things interesting.
Before the race, I do know that Dave has said he's gonna try for all of the harder strat. So we'll see how this goes. He's not going to do any sort of race safety.
Considering, I mean, especially when you start out in a tough situation like that, taking death, then the mentality, you know, what are you gonna go for? Gonna try to risk it and go fast, or this is interesting. We'll see. I mean, considering their PB times, Dave should still be able to catch up, but you know, it's a race situation and anything can happen. So, we're going into the second stage, which is basically a kitchen-like stage. You can see on bblblp that he's doing the water tap section, which is one of the slower sections in the game. There's no way to get past those without jumping on them, unfortunately. Otherwise, this stage is pretty straightforward. You have to watch out for some flying bees and not end up in a pot. That was an unfortunate death. That also means Dave is now in the lead.
As you see, Dave using a slightly different strat. So there's jumping on the faucets. On those bottom faucets, you can wiggle left and right real fast. And if you get it good, it's slightly faster than jumping, but also a little bit trickier to do.
See, Dave goes for the bottom route there at the clone enemies. He's doing the optimal fastest route. And then it's the spaceship fight now, which strat he goes for. It's the early double hits. Oh, wow, he did it.
Oh, and he got it. That is the quick kill there.
That is the quick kill, and it was actually really well performed as well. I'm impressed. That was really nice. Let's see how bblblp does it. Okay, he's doing it... well, he's playing it safe, basically. He gets a nice double hit in the third and fourth hit there, so let's see if he can finish it out. There we go. Alright, so Dave is now in the toy factory. This stage is probably one of the tougher, I would say. The first screen is actually really dangerous with the clowns, depending on how you tackle them. And the next section, you know, it's got those metal balls, which has huge hitboxes. So
their hitboxes are deceptively large.
Yes, they are. I mean, they look round and cozy, but the hitbox is actually square, like big square. And so even if it doesn't look like you hit them, you will hit them. It's annoying. So we have a robot fight coming up here. Well, it also has the same RNG every time, of course. So let's see if they can. Basically, you can just jump up and down and grab and throw the ball. Let's see if they can do it properly.
And he goes for...
Oh, okay. He goes for the final double hit there. Nice. The double KO.
That's an interesting thing about this, is that if you get a double KO, you actually win the double KOs. It does not matter if you die as well. If you kill the boss, you're good.
As long as it's not your last life, actually.
Correct.
I actually learned that recently, that if you're on your last life and double KO, then you die instantly. So that's not the case here, so see how bblblp handles the fight. You got a little hit from the balls, but be okay. Nice.
Not bad.
I mean, that was an unfortunate death he had earlier, but aside from that, he's doing the best of. I mean, you can clearly see when he played that. I mean, when you watch them side by side, that Dave is the one with the better PvE because he's using faster strats on most spots. But bblblp is doing. I mean, he's doing great with the strats he's using, basically. So that's all you can. I think that is a key thing in many things. I mean, when you race a game, you shouldn't do things you're not comfortable with. So I mean, it's usually better to play consistently. I would say.
Yeah, I tried practicing a couple of the I tried practicing the super quick kill on the spaceship that Dave used, and I can't get it consistent enough. So I'm like, nah, I ain't using that in the race.
I mean, that's the thing you always have to consider. Like, there's much safer versions, and they're like maybe a second slower at most. And if you can do one thing that's 1 second slower, like at least let's say 75-80% consistent or even more, and then you can try to make a small time-saving trick that you might save a second, but if you lose it, if you don't get it, you lose like 5 seconds. Then it's not worth it. So, especially not in a race setting. At least not in my experience.
No, I would say the threat of losing 5 seconds, unless you're up against someone that, I mean, is really, really good. Like, I kind of expect, if Dave pulls this out, his next opponent will be Hyrexen, who is also a very, very good runner, and I expect to see both of them go for some pretty high-level strat.
Yes, I don't know how much Hyrexen has been playing lately, but he is a very, very proficient runner in this game for sure. I mean, he probably has the top 3 time, right? Hasn't he?
I think so.
I haven't checked the leaderboard in a while. I have to check now, actually. So, Dave is coming up in one of the harder stations of the game, which is H. It contains one thing we haven't really talked about is the climbing sections. You can see the vertical climbs here. Dave is using a quiet. Oh, he's trying for this. Okay. He went for the semi-task boost, which is not even in the current world record. But yeah, there's a few ways to do the different climbs. There's 2 notable climbs in the game. The first one is in the first stage, and the second one here in H. There's also one in A, but we don't play A in 100%. A is a 3-stage, which is only played in all zones. But the thing about the climbs in this game is that basically your jump height is how do you call it? I mean, you can kind of adjust it whenever you want, as long as you hold the button. The chipmunk will get higher and higher to a certain point, of course, and as soon as you release it, you start falling down. So you have total control of your jump heights. It's not like some other games where you maybe have 2 or 3 different jump heights. Here you have like total control.
Like Castlevania or something, where the jumps are very wooden and not really controllable too terribly much.
Yeah, I mean, I would say many games have that type of thing when you can control them to a certain extent. In Castlevania, you have to commit fully though, so that's kind of the exact opposite. But there are some games that are in between. But in this one, you have full control over the heights. And that also means that when you're doing a climb section, you want to jump exactly as high as you need to get up on the ledge, and then you need to jump instantly again. You don't want to get too high, because then, the climbing speed is one of the things that are, surprisingly enough, one of the harder things to master in this speedrun, I would say.
And now here we're coming up to a very interesting, let's see if Dave can get the quick kill. Looks like he's on his way. This caterpillar is a very difficult boss to do fast. The quick kill which Dave just pulled off, you can get him in 2 cycles. You get him 3 times before he breaks apart, and then twice after. But if you mess it up at all, it's about, I would say, a 4 or 5 second loss.
Yeah. You can make a backup which only costs like 2 seconds, I think. But I mean, yes, it's generally a 4 or 5 second loss. And the timing is actually really strict, because, I mean, he's supposed to break down when you hit him. He's supposed to go back to the middle and break down, but you kind of hit him exactly when it comes to the middle on the first hit. So the game kind of lets him pass for a second loop. So that was very well performed. Also, final stage, Dave playing Jay. He's doing the hard. He's done well on his promise so far. He's been doing the hard strats overall. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, other than that death on that first screen of the game, Dave has been playing extremely well.
Yeah, he has. I have to say that as well. So you can see the difference in the capable of right now on Blue, by the way, because it's taking a lot longer for him. Okay, Fat Cat coming up. And wow.
10:33
on Dave's first run, and that was a rough about 30 to 45 second death he had. So that could actually have been a sub 10 time if he hadn't died, I think, which is really interesting. Really impressive start from Dave here. He's really putting the bar high. And that is nice. And I mean, 10:43 with that death. I mean, this game you can have deaths anywhere actually, but most deaths aren't as punishing. They are usually around, I don't know. I mean, you usually die at a boss or something, so it's
boss death.
Maybe 5-10 seconds. Or
boss death. The climb on F you can fall, but that's again only maybe a 5 to 10 second. The two most punishing are, like you said earlier, that first screen. And then if you die at the very end of the screen that bblblps on in J, that's a good 40-second time loss, like 30-40.
Along with the first stage of the game, this is the longest, yes. This screen is notorious. I mean, for every casual player, this is the screen that kills most people's dreams. I mean, well, it's not a hard game, but it's the stage that you're gonna have trouble if you play this casually. Let's see if bblblp can finish it out here. I'm confident he can. He also got a frame perfect kill on that weasel there.
Yes, I saw that. That was very, very nice. The weasels normally take 2 boxes to kill, but if you hit them perfectly, and I think it is frame perfect, is it not?
Yeah, it is.
That you can kill them in one hit, and he actually managed to get that in a 12:06, which not really too bad for some. His PB's only on 11:39, so that's actually very, very close.
He also had a quite bad death himself. He had a death late after the water taps in the final pot, I think, in the second stage, in the cooking pot.
Yes, I believe he did.
So that's kind of an equal death that Dave had. So I mean, that could actually have been a PB almost, I think, if he hadn't died there. So yeah, that's good work from both players, I would say.
All right, and I think Dave mentioned this at the beginning for anyone joining in. This is it's single elimination, but it is best of 3. Although I think Dave's talked about the final match being a best of 5 potentially, but I know it's best of 3.
I'm not. I would lie if I would have said I would have the answer. I don't know if the final game is best of 5, but maybe, hopefully, it's always nice with a little best of 5 finals. Looks like they are ready again to set up instantly. So they should probably reset their games though, so they can get the demo playing. That will be.
Yep, there we go.
So otherwise they will play with RNG, which. I mean, I don't know if there's a rule. I guess there's a no RNG any % tournament. It's actually called no RNG. So I don't know if we get kicked if we play with the RNG. There's no benefit in doing it. So, wow, there's a hypothetical chance of saving a half second in the spaceship fight, but the pattern required for that would be like a 1 in 100.
Not worth going for.
No, I would say that's odds I'm not too happy with if I would play like this. Plus, there are other things, small things that are actually affected by RNG as well. That also works out in favor when you have normal plays. It usually evens out, even if you would get the good pattern. All right, looks like they are gonna go again very soon. So.
And Hemi, there is a tourney tree. I don't know if are we allowed to post links in Speed Gaming, or am I going to get purged if I try to post a challenge link?
I am brisky today. We are doing it. Whew.
There we go. The risk paid off there. Let's see if it pays off for you later in the run.
We'll see how risky I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm up next after this game. But yeah, let's see here. Second game starting. We have Shipley and Dale both having a good start here.
Yep.
So here you can see the climb section. You can see they were basically neck to neck before the climb, but after the climb you can see Dave is, I would estimate, about 2 seconds ahead. So there you can see how important.
It's deceptively difficult how, because you have full control over the jumps, but none of the jumps in any of the climbs are like a full jump, and so it's deceptively difficult how to do those climbs.
That's a very good point you had. No jump, yeah, exactly. There's no full jumps. Then it would be fairly simple, I guess. But now there's a very distinct timing to the presses. Dave is also using an unconventional boo. I think he's the only one, except an OG runner, Crazy Rasmus, uses that boost as well to get over that wall. Now you can see Bulup was stacking some concrete blocks to get over, but Dave used the damage boost on the rats. Which is actually slightly faster, but that also means he needs to not take a damage boost in the previous screen, so it kind of evens out.
Yeah, I've always wondered overall how much time that actually saves through that boost, because I know you're right, Dave's the only person that I see currently running this that uses that boost.
It looks pretty cool. So, I mean, if I remember correctly, there was someone tested it earlier, and I think it's actually not faster, but it does look cool, so I guess it's worth doing because of that sometimes. But I should look into it, I guess, I mean, if I ever feel the need to optimize this run further. Alright, water tap section, let's see if Bulup can survive the pots this time. That's another thing to note, though. When playing with the no RNG, the bee spawns are the same all the time. So as long as you do this section correctly, you will never get abused by the bees. Back in the day when we ran with RNG, you could have some trolley bees that were annoying.
And that can lose a lot of time, because if they hit you, you're probably falling straight into the pot.
Yes. There were ways to avoid them as well. Also, Dave doing the nice quick kill again.
Yeah.
What has he eaten for breakfast today? I don't know.
Whatever he ate for breakfast, I apparently need to run out and get some real quick before my race.
Yeah, I'm getting worried here. I don't know. I haven't. Also doing I see Dave has adapted my strats at the beginning of the clowns. He's picking up a box and throwing it upwards. Then you don't have to take. It's not faster than taking 2 damage boosts to the clowns, but you actually conserve one health, which is really nice, especially in a race setting. You can see Bulup killing all the clowns in this past. It's not a bad idea if you're insecure in that section in a race setting. It's a big death to take. So.
Yeah, and going for the damage boost and missing it it can be very, very punishing.
Yes, that is also very annoying, because you don't have a second try at the damage boost basically, so you just have to go back and kill the. It takes time. Oh, another robot fight for Dave. Let's see if he can do it as well as last time. Yes, he could.
Got it.
Another double KO.
Dave's boss fights today have been very, very strong.
Yeah, they have. I agree. There's been no mistakes in boss fights so far, I think. The spaceship fight is arguably, that's the hardest boss fight for sure. He's managed to nail that 2 times in a row, which is really good. Robot fight is, in my opinion, a lot easier, but it's not that easy, so... Most of the other fights are just basically throwing the ball up and down, but...
Yeah.
You can see here that Bulup has problems. He has troubles catching the ball. My guess is that he is not aware, because this is a thing that many runners... I was actually talking to quite a runner yesterday called Tech, that I was watching him play a bit, and he also had trouble catching the ball. Many people don't know that you can hold down the B button to re-grab the ball when it bounces off the wall. You don't have to time your B press. So, but I assume you knew that, right?
Yes, I did know that. I learned it while learning the run for the tournament. I learned it very quickly. I don't know why, but I personally struggle with the holding the B on horizontal throws like are needed for that robot fight. I can do it fine for vertical ones, like for the caterpillar, for Fat Cat and whatnot, but the horizontal ones against the robot, I have trouble for some reason with the timing on it.
The most common mistake is that you kind of try to press to throw it again too fast, I guess. I mean, you have to be chill.
Yeah.
to actually visually see and grabbing the ball before you try to throw it again. But I know, I mean, it's when you want to do things after one pass, it's easy to be too fast sometimes.
And I'm really glad that I ate before this with all the food talk here in chat. All the cereals and waffles and whatnot. I am really glad I ate beforehand.
Chat in my separate window here. Been doing a bad job monitoring the chat. Maybe they're talking waffles, so maybe it's not good. I do have some pizza left. Maybe I should. Okay, pizza aside, we're going up on the H stage again, which is personally my favorite stage. It's one of the most technical because of that climb. It used to be a bit more technical but now Dave is taking the left path here, which...
And...
Oh, no. Didn't get the boost this time either, but it was a nice try. I mean, I really like that he's going for it. I wonder if he will always go for it. That's also a thing here. He's playing. I mean, he probably watches the rescreen, or I mean, he probably knows his PB is so much better. So, I mean, he can basically afford that. I mean, that strat. There's no risk of death there, so it's really nice that he tries to show it off. But he only risks losing a couple of seconds if he fail it. So.
Yeah, I think he told me that he was going to try it every time. I don't know if he really means like if he's up against someone with a very similar PB or better PB, if he'll still try it. But knowing Dave, he might.
Yeah, maybe he might. But yeah, that's the thing. How you? I mean, people think. I mean, you have different strategies and such, and when you're up to someone with a similar time, then those 2 seconds can really matter. So. Oh, but bblblp is also using the same path here, which means that means he, as you said, he must have learned the game quite recently, because that is not a that is not a traditional route. So.
The traditional is to go all along the right-hand side, is it not?
Yes, and then you also need to pick up a few boxes along the way, and there's 2 squirrels going to be in your way and 1 crab that you need to kill along the way. So it makes the timing of the jumps we talked about earlier, it makes them kind of tricky, because when you throw a box upwards, you kind of get pushed down a little bit. So it's actually harder to do the old way, but for me personally, there you can see the backup.
He almost messed that up.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he lost time, but he didn't lose the full cycle, so to speak. Yeah, personally, in that H climb, I haven't played. I played several thousand runs using the old method, and I only did, a few rounds with the new method. And now I haven't played, in like 4 or 5 weeks. So the ones that's gonna be in my muscle memory is the old one. I'm not gonna be able to pull off the new one. That's how muscle memory works. So yeah, I guess I will stick to what I know best, even if the current world record actually has the new version.
Yep, I'm lucky enough to have learned this recently enough that I do the middle climb there.
But Dave is cruising through the final stage again. It's going to be a good time here once again. I mean, he didn't have a death this time, so it's probably going to be a low 10-minute time. I would estimate around 10:03, I would say. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that, a 10:03.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a really impressive race time. Having consistent 10:03s is, yeah. That also means, unfortunately for bblblp, that he is out of the tournament because there's no second chances here. We were thinking of having, or Dave was thinking of having a double elimination system with brackets, but we quickly realized he quickly realized when there was a lot of people joining that it would take too much time, basically. So.
Yeah, I believe Dave said he originally thought, maybe he'd get 8 to 10 people in the tournament, and there were over 20, I believe, that signed up.
Yeah, I think so.
And ooh, death there for bblblp trying to go for a slightly faster axe strat and just not quite having the timing on it.
The axe section here is, now that I think about it, I didn't actually see what strat Dave was going for on the axes, but there's a few different ways of doing the axes. Basically, as long as you manage to get 2 damage boosts to skip 2 axes, that is a good thing, basically. But however, there is the task version actually skips. It skips 2 axes with 1 boost, basically. So it's incredibly fast. The way we do it now is I have been able to do the task version RTA, but only 1 in 50 tries, maybe. So we kind of use a semi-task thing where we skip 2 axes, but we delay on the first one. So I didn't really see what he went for there.
And there we go, in 11:53, which, honestly, if he did not have that death on those axes, that first try in J, I actually think bblblp was on PB pace.
Yeah, another PB pace. Sure, he was up against a very tough opponent, but I think he did the absolute best he could in this scenario. I think actually on his stream page, Twitch page, it did say that one of his goals for Chippendale this year, I think, was a deathless 100% run. So it seems like he might have struggled with that a bit, but I think he will definitely get it with some more work. So.
Oh, I agree completely.
So that was an impressive showcase. Thank you so much, Dave and bblblp, for the races. And I wish you well luck in the rest of the tournament, Dave, and also sad to see you go, bblblp. And I think I'm up next, so I'm probably going to get out of this commentary right here. I will probably be back later. But for now, I'm going to drop out and getting myself ready for my first game. So thank you for your comment.
Thank you. And if people look at the tournament matchup, they'll see that Zorilla and Magic K were up next. However, Zorilla is very sick right now. He's been sick for a week and just wasn't able to make it. So that's going to be a forfeit. Magic K moves on immediately. And so, yes, Indy is up next against Vandal.